Awesome. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. Good to be with everybody. So today, we're going to talk about how we master our thoughts and how we can think more successfully and how we bring that into our business life and our personal lives. And so, as always, please feel free to chat in, questions, comments, and all that's always more beneficial when we get to hear from everybody. So, how do we master our thoughts? So, it's easier than you think, and I always like the the adage, where's the best place to hide something? In plain sight, right? And so it's really not that complicated. So now the average person has 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Now that's a lot of thoughts. So, can you really manage 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day? Well, of course, the answer to that's no, right? But how do you manage the ones that matter, right? And so managing our thoughts is simply about managing the ones we notice. Okay. So it's about really kind of transmuting a thought, right? So let's say we have a thought like, I can't, okay? Like I can't, there's no way I'm gonna fill my CRM. Okay. You transmute that, change that to I can finish my CRM, I just have to get started. Okay. So it's about managing the thoughts that you become aware of. All right. A lot of the thoughts we have are very passive, right? They just come and go. That's why there's 60 to 80,000 of them, right? There's no chance you're going to catch all of it. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that any thought that crosses your awareness that you don't want, you flip it. Okay. It's called transmuting. Any thought that crosses your awareness that you don't want, you flip it. Anything that's self-limiting about, success, I'll never reach this level in my career, you flip it. Okay. I am reaching that level. I'm there already. Think about it in terms of, I'll give you a couple tricks here in a minute, but think about it in terms of that you've already arrived. Okay. And things like, I'll do it later. No, I'll do it now. Okay. If I can't finish it now, I'll start now. Something that's started is half finished. Okay. So, I'll just say it one more time. This is about managing the thoughts that you're aware of. Any thought that you're aware of that isn't an outcome you want, don't let it slip by. Grab it and flip it. And it's really kind of that easy. It's really not any more complicated than that. That's one of the reasons why I always think, the whole expression, where's the best things to hide? Where's the best place to hide something? In plain sight, So it's really not as complicated as we've either been led to believe or we've talked ourselves into that changing our thoughts is that complicated. And when we change our thoughts, we change our frequency and we change our outcome. So little trick that I just mentioned, we want to stay away from I want or I wish statements. And you want everything to be I'm of, okay? I'm of success, I am successful, not I want to be successful, okay? It's not that you want to convert it to I want to have $7 million in sales this year. It's I am of $7 million in sale. It's already happened. You want to position your thinking so that it's already happened. Okay. There's this really, I was just listening to it this weekend. I forgot already who wrote the book, but Chicken Soup for the Soul. It'll come to me in a minute. And the author wanted to make $100,000 one year, and he had just launched this book. And he figured out how many copies he would need to sell the book to make $100,000. So he wrote himself out a check for $100,000. Now, at the end of the year, he wrote himself, a fake check. Okay, the real check had to come from his publisher, and at the end of the year, he didn't quite make 100,000. It was like 92,000. Okay, but it's always about positioning your thinking in your mind and energetically, so that you've already accomplished it. Okay, I'm well on my way. when we, I wish, I want, I hope, all those types of statements, they 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 still make you feel, okay, as if it's just outside of your capability. And the reality of it is it's not. It's all well within your capability. So a little trick that trains your brain, I am or I'm of. So that's the process of metacognition. We kind of touched on that briefly last week. So metacognition is the process of thinking about what you're thinking about, okay? Being aware of your thinking. And like I said, you don't want any thought to cross your mind that you don't want an outcome to. Okay, you want to grab it and you want to flip it. But that's the process of metacognition. And you can, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but you can do some of your own research on it. There's all metacognition applications in school, and but it's a very simple process. It's just simply about being aware of your thought process. And what it does when you become aware of your thought process, it's like you become the director of your own movie through observing your thoughts. Okay, so think about it in terms of, you're a director, okay, of let's say a movie, and you're watching the actors and the actresses and the film set, and it's your thoughts, okay, that determine the outcome of the movie. And so you're in essence coaching yourself. You're directing yourself on having the proper thoughts for the outcome that you want. And it's really that process of kind of looking down on things, okay, while you're still kind of operating, right, while you're operating in it, but looking down on it. So, well, what outcome do I want? Because whatever outcome you want starts with your thoughts. It can't start anyplace else. I think one of the things that's so fascinating, at least to me, is every single invention was thought up in someone's mind first, and then it went to paper. It didn't just like mysteriously show up on paper. And so that's how, if you kind of use that as another example of how do we direct the outcome we want, and we direct it first through our thoughts, and then we start changing our language. And so, if you want to have a hit movie, which is your life, then you want to be aware. You want to be aware of your thoughts, and it works everywhere. It works in business. It works at home. It works with your relationships. It works with kids. It works everywhere. Is that you want to make sure that you're constantly in observation. Again, metacognition. You're in constant observation of what you're talking about and what you're thinking, and the words that come out, and even if a phrase or a word comes out that wasn't optimal, okay, verbally change it. Just, I really wish we could do this, and it's, oh no, wait a minute, no, we're going to do this, okay, right? So snatch every one of those words and expressions you don't want, whether you say it verbally or whether it's in your mind, okay, and flip it around. And that's how you become an observer, right? An observer to your own life, where you can actually impact what goes on and what the outcome is. So I'll leave you. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Gabby Bernstein, but she's a very prolific author, and she wrote the book Super Attractor, and it's really basically about attracting what you want. And I was kind of doing some research this weekend, and I found this quote from her, that I'm responsible for what I see. And I think that's so true, right? So our thoughts and our words, okay, are basically what we see. We might see them, mentally, but if we can see ourselves doing things, we can see ourselves completing things, starting with our thoughts and our words, then we have a greater likelihood of success. And so it's really kind of that simple. And you can start to put this into practice right now. It doesn't really require any more training, or just a matter of you being the observer, the movie director, right, of your own thoughts, and making sure that each one of your interactions that you have, whether it's something you're doing on your own or whether you're doing it with other people, that, okay, well, here's the outcome I want for this scene of the movie. In our daily lives, we have many scenes, right? But here's the outcome I want, okay? And here are the words I'm going to use to create the picture that I need for that outcome. And it's super fun, and it's fun to play with. And you can you see the outcome, you can see the benefits of it pretty immediately. So just checking to see what we have for chats. Oh, Denise, yeah, let's start a reading list. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what? Um, I have a reading list that I'll post. I've got a book that's going to be coming out sometime in the next 30 days or so. And some of the stuff that we used in here, like the Observer, the movie director Observer example, actually comes from the book. And I've got a really good reading list in there that I think something that we could build upon. So I'll circulate that around, and maybe next week we'll go over the reading list. So actually, why don't we do this? Why don't why don't you guys send me some of your favorite books? We'll take my reading list, we'll put it together, and then why don't we take a couple minutes? We'll take next week actually, and I can do a quick voiceover on what some of the books are, and then other people can chime in with your book interests as well. Okay, how's that sound? Sound good? Yeah, book list, great idea. Okay, cool, that's fun. Okay, so our mission today and going forward, as soon as we're off this call, be aware of your thoughts. Change any thought that's not going to give you an outcome that you don't want. All right. Take care. Have a good week.